Today, we need to have a serious conversation about what's happening at airports right now. I'm seeing travelers over 70 getting stopped at security, pulled aside at the gate, and, in some cases, denied boarding entirely. And it's not because they did anything wrong. It's because of one document that the government is now demanding, and millions of seniors still don't have it. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to protect you. Because I've been in that cabin for over 15 years, and I've watched this unfold in real time. Good people, prepared travelers, who did everything right, turned away because nobody told them the rules had changed. Just 3 weeks ago, I watched a couple in their mid-70s standing at the TSA checkpoint in tears. They'd driven 4 hours to the airport for a cruise departure. Their driver's licenses looked perfectly fine. They'd used them for decades. But those licenses didn't have one small marking, and security told them they couldn't proceed. No flight, no cruise. Thousands of dollars gone. And the worst part? They had no idea this was even a requirement. That's not going to be you. Not after today. If you want the real insider knowledge that can save your next trip, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. I share secrets straight from the galley that you won't hear anywhere else, and I don't want you to miss a single one. Here's what's coming. I'm going to walk you through exactly what document you need and how to check if yours is compliant in the next 30 seconds. I'll cover the new $45 fee that just started this month for travelers who show up without proper ID. And I'm going to share 7 other critical things every traveler over 70 needs to know before their next flight. These aren't suggestions. These are requirements. Let's get into it. Let's start with the one thing that's catching more seniors off guard than anything else right now: the Real ID deadline. As of May 7, 2025, your standard driver's license no longer works for domestic flights. It has to be Real ID compliant. And here's what most people don't realize. That little marking is easy to miss. Many seniors renewed their licenses years ago and have absolutely no idea whether theirs is compliant or not. I've watched this confusion cause more problems at security than weather delays. Passengers show up with a license they've carried for a decade, confident they're prepared, and suddenly they're told it won't get them through. The panic on their faces breaks my heart every single time. Here's what you need to do right now. Take out your driver's license. Look at the top right corner. Do you see a gold or black star? Maybe a star inside an outline of your state? That's the Real ID marker. If you see the words "Federal Limits Apply" instead, your license will not get you past TSA. Period. Now, if yours isn't compliant, don't panic. You have options. A valid U.S. passport or passport card works perfectly for domestic flights. You don't need Real ID if you have either of those. But if you don't have a passport and your license isn't compliant, you need to call your DMV today. Not next week, today, because appointments are already booking out weeks in advance. And you'll need to bring your birth certificate, Social Security documentation, and 2 proofs of residency. Remember that couple I mentioned at the beginning? They had no idea. Nobody told them. Don't let that be you. Check your ID today, right now, before you forget. Now here's what happens if you show up without proper identification. Starting February 1st, 2026, which is this month, there's a new $45 fee. It's called TSA ConfirmID, and it's essentially a penalty for arriving unprepared. Here's how it works. If you don't have a Real ID, passport, or other acceptable identification, TSA will offer you the option to pay $45 to verify your identity through their system. That fee covers a 10-day travel window. So if your trip is longer than 10 days, you're paying it again on the way home. That's $90 just because you didn't have the right ID. And here's what nobody mentions. The verification process can take up to 30 minutes. 30 minutes of additional screening and delays while everyone else walks right through. Miss your connection? Too bad. The airline isn't responsible for your ID situation. Here's what you do if you realize your ID isn't compliant before a trip. Go to tsa.gov/confirmid and pay the fee online through pay.gov before you leave for the airport. You'll get a receipt by email. Bring a printout or screenshot of that receipt along with whatever government ID you do have. When you reach security, tell the officer, "I've already paid for TSA ConfirmID online. Here's my receipt." That alone will save you significant time. But let me be real with you. That $45 could have been a nice dinner at your destination. It could have been a gift for your grandkids. Don't throw money away because nobody warned you about a requirement that's been coming for years. Get your real ID. Get a passport card for $30. Either option is cheaper and smarter than paying this fee every single time you fly. Now here's something that most travelers over 70 have no idea about. TSA has specific screening accommodations for passengers 75 and older. These exist even if you don't have TSA PreCheck. But here's the problem. They rarely announce them. And too many seniors struggle through security when they don't have to. If you're 75 or older, you can keep your shoes on during standard screening. You can also keep your light jacket on. This is official TSA policy. It's not a special favor. It's not something you have to qualify for. It's your right. Now, if you trigger the alarm, you might be asked to remove those items or receive a pat-down. But here's what they don't tell you. You can request to be seated during that process. If standing for extended periods is difficult, or if you have mobility challenges, TSA must accommodate you. Here's exactly what you do. When you reach the TSA officer, say, "I'm 75 years old, and I'd like to keep my shoes on." That's it. They'll direct you through. If you need to remain seated, say, "I need to remain seated for screening due to mobility limitations." They will accommodate you. If anyone gives you pushback, ask to speak with a TSA supervisor. Supervisors are trained on these policies and will make sure you're treated properly. One more thing. TSA has a dedicated helpline specifically for travelers with disabilities and medical conditions. It's called TSA Cares. The number is 855-787-2227. Call them at least 72 hours before your flight if you have questions about medical devices, mobility equipment, or any special circumstances. They'll walk you through exactly what to expect and can arrange assistance at the checkpoint. You shouldn't have to struggle or feel embarrassed at security. These accommodations exist because you deserve them. Now, if you're under 75, or if you just want the smoothest possible experience regardless of age, let me tell you about the best $78 you'll ever spend on travel. TSA PreCheck. Here's what PreCheck gets you. You keep your shoes on, you keep your belt on, your light jacket stays on, your laptop stays in your bag, your liquids stay in your bag. You walk through a dedicated lane where 99% of passengers wait less than 10 minutes. That's not marketing. That's the official TSA statistic. The cost is $78 for 5 years. That breaks down to about $15 per year, less than the cost of one checked bag. And here's what most people don't know. Nearly 40 credit cards reimburse this fee completely. Cards like the Chase Sapphire Reserve, Capital One Venture, and American Express Platinum cover TSA PreCheck or Global Entry as a cardholder benefit. You might already have this covered and not even realize it. Here's what you do. Before you pay out of pocket, call your credit card company or check your benefits online. Ask, does my card reimburse TSA PreCheck or Global Entry fees? If the answer is yes, you're getting PreCheck for free. To apply, go to tsa.gov/precheck, fill out the initial application online, and schedule an in-person appointment at an enrollment center near you. There are over 1,300 locations nationwide. The appointment takes about 10 minutes. Bring your passport or birth certificate, plus your driver's license, and a credit card for payment. Most people get approved within 3 to 5 days. This isn't just about saving time. It's about saving your energy, your patience, and your dignity. For less than the cost of airport parking, you get 5 years of calmer, easier, less stressful security screening. Your peace of mind is worth $15 a year. Trust me on this one. All right, this next one is a big one, and it's something airlines don't exactly advertise. Under federal law, specifically 14 CFR 382.93, airlines are required to offer pre-boarding to passengers with disabilities who need extra time or assistance to board. This includes seniors who need more time to get down the aisle, stow their bags, or get settled into their seat. And here's the part most people don't know. The law says you must board before all other passengers. That means before first class, before elite members, before military, before everyone. But here's the problem. Many seniors feel embarrassed to ask. They don't want to seem like they're asking for special treatment, or they assume they need some kind of documentation. Let me clear this up right now. Pre-boarding is based entirely on self-identification. You don't need a doctor's note. You don't need to explain your medical history. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. From 15 years in the galley, let me tell you something. We want you to pre-board. We would much rather have you settled in your seat before 200 people come rushing down the aisle than watch you struggle with your carry-on while everyone squeezes past. It's safer for you. It's easier for us. And it keeps the whole boarding process moving. Here's exactly what you do. About 30 minutes before boarding begins, approach the gate agent and say, "I need to pre-board because I need extra time to get settled." That's it. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to elaborate. If anyone questions you, simply say, "I have a disability that requires additional time to board." If you're ever denied pre-boarding, ask to speak with the airline's complaint resolution official. Every airline is required to have one available, and they're trained specifically on disability rights. You don't need to feel guilty. This is your legal right. You've earned it. Use it. Now let's talk about wheelchair assistance, because this one trips people up all the time. Here's the first thing you need to know. Wheelchair assistance is completely free on every U.S. airline. This is federal law under the Air Carrier Access Act. You will never be charged for this service. Ever. But here's the catch. Airlines contract with third-party companies to provide wheelchair service, and those companies staff based on advance requests. If you show up at the airport needing a wheelchair and you didn't request it ahead of time, you might wait 30 minutes or more for someone to become available. I've seen seniors miss flights because they were still waiting for assistance while their plane pushed back from the gate. Here's what you need to do. When you book your ticket online, look for a section called Special Services or Accessibility Requests. Check the box for wheelchair assistance. If you're booking by phone, tell the agent, "I need wheelchair assistance from check-in to the gate and from the gate to baggage claim on arrival." Be specific about every leg of your journey. If you've already booked and didn't request it, call the airline now. Say, "I have a reservation on this date and I need to add wheelchair assistance to my booking." They'll update it in the system. Just make sure you're doing this at least 48 hours before your flight. And one more thing. Tipping your wheelchair attendant is appreciated, but absolutely not required. The service is your legal right, not a favor. You should never feel like you're imposing. Airports are enormous. Gates are far. Concourses seem endless. You've walked enough miles in your life. Let someone push you. You've earned that too. Now let's talk about something that causes more confusion than almost anything else. Flying with CPAP machines and portable oxygen concentrators. If you rely on one of these devices, I want you to know right up front that you are absolutely allowed to bring them on every flight. But there are specific rules, and if you don't know them, you could face unnecessary stress at security or problems at the gate. Here's what most people don't realize. Under federal law, CPAP machines are classified as medical devices. That means they do not count as carry-on luggage. You can bring your CPAP in addition to your regular carry-on and personal item. But here's the catch. It needs to be packed in its own dedicated bag. If you combine it with personal items, the airline might count that bag as a carry-on and charge you. For portable oxygen concentrators, the device must be FAA approved. Look for a red label on your concentrator that says the manufacturer has determined the device meets FAA acceptance criteria. If you don't see that label, check the manufacturer's website or call them directly. Now, if you plan to use your device during the flight, you need to notify the airline at least 48 hours in advance. Airlines also require you to bring enough battery power to last 150% of your total flight time. That's not a suggestion, it's their policy. Not every plane has power outlets at every seat, so don't assume you can plug in. Here's what you do before your trip. Call the airline and say, "I need to use a CPAP machine during my flight. Can you confirm my device is accepted and help me arrange a seat with power access?" They'll note it in your reservation and do their best to accommodate you. For TSA screening, pack your CPAP in a clear plastic bag inside its carrying case. When you reach security, remove the device from the case and place it in a bin for X-ray. The tubing and mask can stay packed. That clear bag keeps everything sanitary during the process. Bring a copy of your prescription and any FAA compliance documentation from the manufacturer. It's not always required, but it makes everything smoother. Your sleep apnea treatment doesn't stop just because you're traveling. These devices are protected by law, and airlines must accommodate you. Now let's cover prescription medications, because there's a lot of confusion here too. Here's the truth. TSA does not require your medications to be in original prescription bottles for domestic travel. You can legally use a pill organizer. But here's the insider reality. Having original bottles or documentation can prevent delays and questions, especially with controlled substances like pain medications, sleep aids, or ADHD prescriptions. Liquid medications are exempt from the standard 3.4-ounce rule if they're medically necessary. That means insulin, liquid antibiotics, or any prescription liquid can exceed that limit. But you must declare them. Here's exactly what you do. At the security checkpoint, tell the TSA officer, "I have medically necessary liquids that exceed 3.4 ounces." They'll pull your bag aside and test the liquids separately. It takes an extra 2 minutes. For packing, keep all medications in your carry-on. Never check them. Checked bags get lost, get delayed, get sent to the wrong city. Your heart medication, your insulin, your blood pressure pills cannot be in a suitcase that ends up in Phoenix while you're in Boston. Carry a printed list of your medications with dosages and your prescribing doctor's name. For controlled substances or injectables, bring a copy of your prescription. It's not legally required, but it eliminates questions. Your medication is your lifeline. Protect it. Keep it with you, always. Before I let you go, I want to make sure you never miss another insider secret that could save your next trip. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right now. I'm putting out new videos every week with tips straight from 15 years in the galley, and I don't want you flying blind. All right, let's do a quick recap of everything we covered today, because this is important. First, we talked about the Real ID requirement that's now being enforced. If your license doesn't have that star, it won't get you through security. Check yours today. Second, we covered the new $45 TSA ConfirmID fee that just started this month. If you show up without proper ID, you're paying that fee and potentially missing your flight. Third, I shared the TSA screening shortcuts for travelers 75 and older. You can keep your shoes and light jacket on. Just tell the officer. Fourth, we went through TSA PreCheck and why the $78 is the best money you'll spend on travel. Check your credit card benefits because many reimburse it completely. Fifth, we covered your legal right to pre-board. You don't need a doctor's note. You just need to ask. Sixth, I explained how wheelchair assistance works. It's free. It's your right. But request it 48 hours in advance. Seventh, we discussed CPAP and oxygen rules. Notify the airline in advance. Bring enough battery power, and keep your documentation handy. And eighth, we talked about prescription medications. Keep them in your carry-on, declare liquid medications, and bring documentation for controlled substances. That's 8 things that could mean the difference between a smooth trip and a disaster at the airport. Now, here's one more bonus tip that I wish every senior traveler knew. If you're over 70 and traveling alone, tell your flight attendant during boarding. Just a simple, "Hi, I'm traveling alone today and wanted to let you know in case I need any assistance." We make a mental note. We keep an eye out. And if there's turbulence or an emergency, or you just need help getting to the bathroom or retrieving your bag, we're already aware. You're not being a burden. You're helping us help you. And after 15 years, I can tell you that simple heads up has made all the difference more times than I can count. You are the reason we fly. Your comfort, your safety, your dignity, that's what matters most to me. Don't be afraid to ask questions, speak up for yourself, and use every accommodation you're entitled to. You've earned them. Now I want to hear from you. What's your biggest concern about flying? Is it the security lines, the long walks, the medical equipment? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and I build my videos based on what you need. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. Coming up next, I'm sharing the crew secrets for getting free upgrades and exactly what to do when your flight gets canceled. I'm Lucy. Thank you so much for flying with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.